Hello, hi, and what is going on? This is Cody, and you are tuned in to B-Boy 45, broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. And we have a very special treat for you today. Not only is it a Monday, and Maya's in the house, but we've got a special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove. Maya, who's on the line with us today?
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen, welcome! Just kidding. Hello, we're so glad to have you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are so excited to hear what you and Maya have to say. So Maya, take it away.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I have really been in disbelief that I'm talking to you, and so.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy that I get to talk to you.
Thank you. So my first question for you is, who or what first sparked your interest in music?
Well, originally, I would say it was the Beatles, and then bands like Blondie and Talking Heads and Devo, and the Ramones. I got into them a little bit later, but I remember my mom used to buy me Beatle records.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I really was into the drums. Like I remember really liking all the drumming on those Beatle records. So I wanted to be a drummer.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, my next question was actually what drew you to the drums?
Well, it was that, like listening to those records. And also I remember anytime I would either go see a group play, sometimes there's just bands in the street or at an event or something like that, or even like at a hotel. If my family was traveling and there'd be like a little group at a hotel or something, my eyes always went to the drums. I always, something about the way they look, like those little cylinders and the drummer like sits down. There was something about it that I always thought, oh, what is that instrument? It's so cool. And then I also thought that everybody felt the same way. I thought, oh, everyone must love the drums the most. So I don't know if that's the case, or I don't think that's the case, but it was immediate. No matter, if it was a parade or something, the sound of the drums and the look of them, I just fell in love with it. And I still feel that way. Any show I go to, my eyes go right to that drum kit.
Oh, cool. So when was the moment that you first knew you wanted to be an actor?
Well, I had like a sort of mix of things that I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be a musician and an actor at the same time, which is kind of what ended up happening. But I remember just wanting both at the same time. So I would see drummers like Keith Moon, and they were very like characters, like they dress up in costumes and stuff. And Devo is the same thing. And I was like, what is that called when you can be not just a serious drummer, but someone who can also, act or be a comedian or whatever. And it was early. I think as soon as I heard music, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I really think it was immediate.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So who are your comedic inspirations?
Well, when I was a kid, I watched Saturday Night Live. It was a different cast. The cast always changes, but I've always loved Saturday Night Live. I always did. And every time there'd be a new cast, I'd keep watching. It was all through junior high school and high school. I just always watched. I liked Monty Python. And there was a show called SCTV, Second City TV, which was a Canadian show with Catherine O'Hara and Martin Short and Eugene Levy. I mean, there was a huge, really great cast, and Rick Moranis. And I remember me and my friends really liked that show. Like, we'd talk about it a lot. So yeah, I'd say those were my first inspirations.
Oh, cool. So what was your favorite part about being a main cast member on Saturday Night Live?
I loved being on Saturday Night Live. Sometimes I still can't believe it happened. Sometimes I'm like, I can't believe I was on this show that I used to watch and still watch. I still watch it every single episode. And my favorite part of it, more than anything, was laughing with my friends. So even though it was great being on TV and doing sketches on TV, I remember being, and there's writing offices, you just write with a computer and you just come up with sketches. I just remember in the middle of the night just laughing so hard at nothing. And like the dumbest joke you could ever imagine. And we would just laugh. And that's my favorite memory, because it's, I never take it for granted to get to laugh, out loud. It's just like a great feeling.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So what was your favorite impersonation or skit that you were a part of?
It changes, as far as like skits or sketches go. I really enjoyed doing the Californians. That was always a real, it was like just hanging out with my friends and, coming up with crazy directions. That whole sketch is based on directions on highways. So I like that part of it. But as far as impressions, I think I liked doing Steve Jobs, the guy who started Apple. And because back then, Steve Jobs used to do these talks where he'd introduce a new device and this is the new iPod. And, but he did it in such a showy, very entertaining way. And that was my favorite to do.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what is your writing process like? Do you have a ritual to help you get into the creative mindset?
Yeah, for me, it's waking up early and having a good breakfast with coffee. I don't know why. I like this sort of launching pad of let me start my day off with a coffee and, kind of just think for a minute. And then I'll have an idea that nags at me. So it's less that it's not oh, I better think of something. It's more like, oh, this thing keeps nagging at me about, whatever. I just gotta, let me get this out of my head. Let me just get this idea out of my head. It keeps really just making itself known. And then I just write it out and, send it out and hope for the best. But that's kind of what my writing process is, just to make sure that I'm well fed in the morning. And then I always think of it as just getting something out of the way. Let me get this idea out of the way so I don't have to think about it anymore. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how did the idea for Portlandia come about?
Well, I have this best friend. Her name is Carrie, and she lives in Portland. And I've known her for a long time, and I used to go visit her. And I was on Saturday Night Live, but I was like, we should work on something. And then we just thought of little videos. We thought of just making these, not even, they're sketches, but they weren't even that funny. They were just kind of us doing stuff, it was more like our version of funny. It was really subtle, but we loved doing it. So we just kept going and going and we would shoot in Portland. We had all these videos, and then we just pitched it at this company, IFC, and we're like, hey, we've got these videos. Can we do a show? And they said yes. And it was just a continuation of that. But more than anything, it was like an excuse for me and Carrie to hang out. I just feel like that's always that's like my favorite part of it, is just getting to work with someone who is my friend.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, so you've been in so many movies and TV shows, and you've played such a wide variety of characters. Of all the characters and roles that you've had, is there one that has been your favorite?
That's that's very easy to answer. On Portlandia, we did these characters who were like goth characters, like sort of spooky but normal, like kind of, and they were like, they're all like painted like white with like black circles around the eyes, and they're like like this, but they talked normal, and that's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's the closest to my own personality that I think. I love doing those characters. We called them the weirdos, but we can call them the goths, whatever. But I love doing that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love that show.
Oh, thanks for watching it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So is there one character that has been the most personal?
I would say that one. That's the goth character. It's the most personal because some of the things he says, are kind of very much the kind of thing that I would say. Like, for example, one of the sketches is they go to the beach, and I don't particularly like the beach. So, and my problem is like, what do you wear? I don't want to wear shorts and like a t-shirt. I like clothes. I like, jackets and stuff. So that's like one of the things they dealt with, that they were like, if we're goths and we have these hats and like long coats, how do we go to the beach? So I think that would be the most personal.
That's really funny. When my family and I have when we visit California, we always go to the beach.
Uh-huh.
But we always just like go in our clothes, because we don't we're not gonna swim or anything. We just like walking on the beach.
That's what I mean. Like, that's the best, walking on the beach or like on the boardwalk, that's fine. But like going in and swimming, I also feel like the ocean's too scary. I know everyone loves the ocean, but I don't like how the waves, it moves you so fast, and I don't like that feeling at all. I like pools.
Yeah, I don't even like pools that much. So
No, they're also not that great. I would say in comparison, pool over ocean, but neither of them is fine by me.
yeah. I'm fine like going like a little bit into the ocean, like just putting so I have my feet under the water, and then like that's as far as I will go.
Yeah, like it cools you off a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I don't like when I go back to the car and I've got a sandal over my feet, and it's impossible to get rid of it. You could dump water all over it, and I'm still like but that's just me. I know that other people are fine with it. Like, they like it, and to each his own. That's fine. But sand, I'm always like, it just lingers forever.
Yeah. So, sorry, I
didn't mean to. I don't mean to complain about the beach. It's like, I don't take it for granted. I know it's beautiful. Yeah. It's just like a little. It's just like a little observation that I have. It doesn't really affect me that much, where I'm like, I will never go. I just meant it's like a little thing. That's all.
Yeah. No, I totally get it, because I love the beach, but I don't know. There's something about like, I like feeling the sand on on my feet, but then at the same time I don't, because it always stays there and I
Yeah,
can't get rid of it. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I wish there was something in between,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what subject could you give a TED Talk on that you're totally unqualified to talk about?
Did you say unqualified or
Yeah,
qualified?
unqualified.
Wow. What could I give a TED Talk on that I'm unqualified to talk about? I think it would be movies because everyone seems to know so much about movies and I don't. And I like movies. I like going to the movies. Everyone seems to know who directed what. And I feel unqualified. I feel like I'd go up there and I'd talk about movies and how much I love them. But I'm always surprised. I'm like, who directed that? And then people answer me. And they're always like, ugh, and they'll tell me the director. And I just can't, people seem to just know it all and what studio and what all the actors in them and stuff. And yeah, so I think that's what it would be. It would be movies.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what is your biggest pet peeve?
I was on a plane yesterday and the guy next to me, like it was really sunny, and the guy next, I was in the aisle and he's at the window and everyone shut their windows. But this guy kept his window open. So it was like this like blasting thing of sun. And I was trying to watch my, TV or whatever. And that's my pet peeve is when people keep their windows open on plane. I'm like, let's everyone just close it, nice and dark, and everyone's trying to read. That's my only pet peeve.
I whenever my family and I travel, which is not that often, but when we do, I always have to keep the window shut because I don't like seeing the
I don't either. I don't like, yeah, it's kind of scary, especially at takeoff. I'm always like, because sometimes the plane tilts down and you can see the city. I'm like, I do not want to be looking that direction at the city.
Yeah.
I'm like, this I don't mind, but this is like, no. I wish planes didn't have to turn. I wish planes could just go up and straight. This business, I think runways should face whatever direction, whatever city you're going to, and that's how it goes, like one straight line.
Yeah.
How far have you traveled? Like, what are some trips that you've gone on that you've liked?
Well, we've gone to New York, which was fun. We've gone to the Catskills. We've never been in the city, and so that's a goal of mine to eventually get to New York and be in the city. And then we've been to Los Angeles, which is just one of my favorite places. And I know there have been others, but those are the only two I'm remembering now. There haven't been that many.
But those are the big ones. Those are the major ones that made an impact on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Los Angeles. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I used to go when I was a kid. We didn't live in Los Angeles. We lived in New York, and my family would take me on vacation. And I remember I loved it right away. I just loved it. We went to Universal Studios and, all the touristy things. But I just remember as a kid, I just loved it. I don't know, especially Universal Studios. I was really into it.
Yeah. The last time we were just back there in May, and we did the Warner Brothers tour, which was really cool. And I wanted to do that the first time we went, but it was closed because of the pandemic.
Oh, right.
And so I was so excited when I saw it was going to be open while we were there.
Yeah, that one's a good one. That one's like more close up. I feel like that one's really, they really, show you the real studio stuff. So I like that one's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very excited to take a picture outside of the Gilmore Girls' house.
Yeah. It's funny though, isn't it? You look at it and there it is. It's just like this front part of a house.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's still standing. It's so cool.
Yeah. And it was very cool to see like how like these different places are like one house that you might know from a show is also used in another show.
Yes, they dress it up different and they paint it different colors and stuff. I remember not understanding that because I remember I saw, I think, the Munsters house. And I was like, oh, it's supposed to be spooky looking. Like, where's all but then now that I understand how, TV making and movie making works, like, of course, that's just dressing, they just decorated it to look that way. But I didn't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So, sorry, I just lost my.
No, please. I'm always like that.
Did I already ask you what your biggest pet peeve is?
Yeah, but I'm happy to keep talking about it. I don't mind. I could try to come up with another pet peeve. Sometimes, now I'm going to sound impatient, but sometimes I'm in line, like buying something in a store, and then the person before me who's paying, like, strikes a conversation with the cashier, and sometimes I'm like, it's like that moment where I'm like waiting and I'm like, oh, I got to wait for them to finish their conversation. It's a little bit of a pet peeve. It doesn't make me angry, but it's a little bit of a pet peeve where I'm like, just, buy your thing and let's keep the line moving.
Yeah, I have so many like pet peeves. I'm not even gonna start because
I want to hear one. Let's hear a pet peeve.
Okay. I don't know. I have like well, it's not really like a pet peeve. It's more something that really bugs me is I don't like it is a pet peeve, but I have noise canceling headphones because I cannot stand the sound of like people eating and drinking.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Especially apples. When people bite into an apple, I feel like the whole room is vibrating with apple sound. Like, it's too, it's like too loud. I'm the same. And chewing gum too. I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
That's a good idea for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember there was once a couple years ago, I was at school and like I was walking down the hallway and I almost had like a freak out in the middle of the hallway because people were like clearing their throats and like doing all this stuff that was bugging me. So I had to take a lot of deep breaths and be like, okay, you don't want to get in trouble for yelling at anybody.
No. Yeah, I know. It's because if you say something, then all of a sudden you're just like this. It's like the wrong time. But it's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah. Uh,
Elevators are kind of like that too. Sometimes like everyone's quiet in the elevator and then two people are talking and I don't understand. I'm like, do you know that we can all hear your conversation? I would be too shy to carry on a conversation in an elevator.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, some people
Yeah.
I guess don't mind.
Yeah. Sometimes like I'll be in like the middle of a conversation with like if I'm with my mom or my sister and someone else will come on the elevator like right in the middle and like right as we're saying something that we're like, okay, if you weren't a part of this conversation from the beginning, that would sound really weird to you.
Yes, yeah. All because yeah, all the references are like it sounds like
Yeah.
it's from outer space or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to explain it though. Like I've had situations where I'm talking to someone just, jumps in and I'm like, oh, I was just talking about the French flag and the colors of the flag, so I have to like fill them in. And all of a sudden it doesn't even sound interesting anymore because I've just diminished it to me explaining it.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what song has had the biggest impact on you?
Whoa. What song has made the biggest impact on me? There's a song by a band called Stereolab called Sybil's Reverie. It's like with a C, Sybil's Reverie. And it's so emotional. It's such a beautiful song that I think emotionally it's had an impact on me. And it kind of, I don't know, it kind of like, it inspires me and calms me down at the same time. It's got violins on it and stuff. It's something about that song really, it does everything for me.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, there's this one song that I'm sure there have been others, but I can't think of any right now. There's a song called Don't You Worry by a singer named Mark Amber. And that song, it's come out in the past few months. I can't remember when exactly, but it's like that one has had a huge impact because it really helps with my anxiety. Like I will put it on when I'm having a lot of anxiety and just feel better.
How do you listen? Is it on headphones or do you just play it on speakers?
Yeah, usually if I'm out somewhere, I listen on my phone, but I'll like put in headphones, and otherwise it's just like around the house and I don't put on headphones.
And do you ever play it over and over?
Yeah, a couple times I've done that.
I've done that too, where the song's done. I'm like, oh, I'm listening one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does help. It definitely helps with anxiety, without a doubt. Even sometimes immediately, like as soon as I hear like the first beat or something, I'm already feeling better.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing like it. It's the ultimate. I think it's like music is the ultimate emotional help. For it's just so immediate, like right away. Like, oh, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, definitely. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Wow, a real life superhero.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a good question. A real life superhero. A A real life superhero. See, I'm trying to think of an answer that isn't like the usual answer, because it's easy to say, to just mention like a job occupation, and I don't know, a real life superhero. I'm gonna say, for me, this is for me, in my personal life, the singer for this band Devo, his name is Mark Mothersbaugh, to me is a superhero, because his music meant so much to me, and I really do believe, because I believe like music really helps people. To me, I think it's like a super heroic thing to do, is to make great music.
Yeah.
And then, so he went on to make soundtracks and stuff. He used to be in a band, and I just like him.
I'm going to say goodbye to these things real quick.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I definitely, for me, I think my mom and my sister are superheroes. And then there are some of my friends I definitely also consider to be superheroes, because they've just helped me through a lot and like have stuck around. And so
I know that feeling, especially with friends. Like there's nothing like it. But the lucky thing is, I am sure they feel the same way about you, that they consider you a superhero to them. Because a friendship is like goes both ways. It's like a mutual thing. So that's the fun of it, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I just had the most amazing time talking with you. So really, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I really enjoyed talking about pet peeves. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, Fred, next time I'm on an airplane, I'll be sure I put the window down.
Oh,
and I'll think
now I
of
sound
you.
like I'm complaining.
No, not at all. You're allowed.
It's just a pet peeve.
Everybody's allowed. I tell the kids here at the hospital all the time, if it's how you feel, you're allowed to say it, as long as it doesn't hurt someone's feelings. So it didn't hurt anybody's feelings, and it's how you feel, so that's okay.
I kept it to myself the whole time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for spending so much time with us. You have just been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Maya.
Bye.